You're welcome back, and you're still watching Newsnight World live from Nigeria's capital in Abuja. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, in partnership with Global Fund, has launched an initiative to tackle the prevalent gender and human rights challenges affecting individuals living with or affected by the virus. The Director General of NACA, Gambo Aliyu, says the collaborative effort aims to ensure equal rights and opportunities for all individuals affected by HIV, marking a significant step forward in the battle against the virus. Aliyu says the journey towards curbing the spread of HIV and enhancing the quality of life for those affected is plagued by a multitude of obstacles, including gender-based discrimination and human rights infringements. Okay, let's have this conversation with Dr. Yinka Falola Anoemuah. She is the technical lead, Gender and Human Rights Unit of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA. Very warm welcome to Newsnight and compliments of the season, I would say.
I wish you the same, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Let's just go straight into the issue of HIV/AIDS. It looks as if, would you say in Nigeria it is, coming down, or the awareness is not just there, or the awareness is because from a statistical data I have here, in HIV treatment, for example, left from 55% in 2016 to 85% in 2020. What would you say is the state now?
We are about 90% coverage of treatment when we look at the population that is estimated to be living with HIV. We have over 1.63 million people on treatment, out of about 1.9 who are estimated to be living with the virus. So there's an increase in the uptake of services. We actually had a surge of uptake during the COVID lockdown. Nigeria was acclaimed to be the most resilient in dealing with HIV during that pandemic. And since then, we've been increasing the awareness, the uptake, and the main issue is we want to join the rest of the world to end the AIDS pandemic by 2030.
Okay.
And to do that, we know to get the remaining figure won't be that easy, so the awareness has to go up. We also have to identify those infringements, those hindrances, those naughty areas that might impede us in achieving that. And we know stigma and discrimination is a big issue in that regard. So that's why we're going back to the way we started, raising awareness, raising consciousness of everyone on what they need to do to join the effort to bring the epidemic to total control and to support those who are living with the virus.
Okay, but let's look at the issue of stigmatization, in the country. There are those who are even challenged, they don't fare better when it comes to the issue of stigmatization and the rest because of, one disability which does not really impinge their abilities.
Yeah.
And now you're talking of people living with HIV/AIDS. How bad is the situation?
It is quite bad. It is bad because, number one,
even in government offices or recruitment exercises.
Yeah, despite the fact that we have workplace policy and we all know that HIV is not something that can be transmitted like the way COVID was. It's something that has to be with close interaction in terms of blood and all of that. And despite that, and we know that testing, we raise awareness that people should know their HIV status, but it should be consented to. It's something that it's about you to help you to live healthy lives. People are still made to compulsorily take those tests, especially at workplaces, and when they do, yeah, it's good to know, because when you know, you take better care of yourself, but it shouldn't impede them from getting their employment. And we have a number of cases coming up where employers will stop the employing the process of employing terminating or treating them differently because they are HIV positive. We have cases coming up.
In
we
courts?
also, we have in courts. We have those that have been won. We also have a lot of them that are resolved by mediation, because people do this because they don't really understand. It's ignorance. So we mediate, we resolve. Like in the project that we have with the support of Global Fund, between in the last 18 months, we've had over 400 cases of different kind of gender-based and human rights infringements based on people's HIV status. Over 90% of them we have resolved through mediation, some even at the court. It's not only workplace, we even have cases where people will tell, if they get to know or they suspect that somebody is living with HIV, they live with the virus. They are not carriers, because it's not something that you carry. It's something that is in you. It's in your blood. So they live with it. But they live with it. It does not have to transmit. When they are cared for, they don't transmit it. And when they get to know in an apartment, they ask them to pack out. There are ways of doing that. You can just jack up the rent. You treat them differently. You set the children aside. Even in school, we have cases of, there are so many young people that are positive because of mother-to-child transmission before the science got to this point where we know we can stop transmission to mother to children. Even at that, so many people are still not availing themselves of that opportunity. So we are still bringing forth children that are living with HIV. When they get to school, schools don't want to have them there. So many of this we are resolving by mediation. But of course, people also still have to have the confidence in the system to report cases. So we have people coming to report. They report through our toll-free line 622-6222. We also work with National Human Rights Commission to resolve so many of these cases. But people need to know, and that's why we are raising the awareness.
And I was just going to ask, apart from the global funds that is supporting NACA against these rights violations, of people living with the HIV/AIDS virus, what kind of collaborative efforts do you have with other government agencies, National Orientation Agency or the Ministry of Information?
Yes, we do. We work with all of them, and we are strengthening that more now. In the process of ensuring we have a system that is resilient, a lot of effort was more in the health sector to strengthen them, to ensure we have drugs there. We also have people coming now to avail themselves of those drugs. So now we are going to all the other sectors. We've ever been working with them. At the beginning of the response, we had big intervention with all ministry departments and agencies that are very relevant. But now we are getting back there to work with all of them. Human Rights Commission,
you have a ministerial committee, for
we have
example.
ministry departments and agencies, interventions, critical mass in all of those institutions. And these those ones you have mentioned are some of them. And we are also strengthening the community engagement, the community themselves, the community leaders, religious leaders, community groups, civil society groups who were there at the beginning of the response also all need to come on board to help us to end the epidemic, and also to consciously do all of the things that we need to do, including resourcing, bringing resources down, because the resources we have now, over 80% of them is from international donors, and they are withdrawing. And in withdrawing, that means the burden of caring for them, drugs, and all the other care will be on government. So between government and private sectors, all ministry departments and agencies, we are engaging with them to come on board and re-energize all that we have been doing together.
Great job you're doing. Speaking with Dr. Yinka Falola Anoemuah. She is the acting director and leads Gender and Human Rights in NACA. Thanks for coming on Newsnight.
Thank you.